Good evening, everybody. Oh, welcome to the corner of my basement, my cozy little corner here. I hope you are in a cozy spot wherever you are too. My name's Jen Crow. I'm one of the ministers at First Universalist Church, and it's really good to get to be together tonight. If you have a second and want to chime in the chat and let us know that you're here and say hello, maybe say where you are coming in from. It's nice to be together in community. So we were just listening to some beautiful music by Dean McGraw. We're so lucky that he is someone that is connected with First Universalist. And I want to welcome you tonight. Like I said, feel free to say hi in the chat. Welcome to our Wednesday night midweek meditation time together, worship time together. I have missed being here with you all, and it's nice to be back in this space with you. So, as you know, First Universalist Church is a community that is deeply committed to ending oppression in all of its forms and building a beloved community of belonging and joy and liberation. Oh, it's so good to see y'all saying hi in the chat. We do this as a community that is committed to love and hope at the center of our lives and at the center of our spiritual practices. And in particular, we invite each other into some very specific spiritual practices. We invite each other into the practice of listening to where love is calling us next, to welcoming, affirming, and protecting the light in each and every human heart, to acting with humility and courage and compassion and service to justice. And as I said, to ending oppression in all of its forms and building beloved community of joy and belonging for all. It's good to get to be here together. Please join us on Sunday as well. We'll be back in the sanctuary. So we'll have in-person services at 9 and 11 a.m. and live stream at 11 a.m. as well. So you can join us either way. And we look forward to being together there. So let's see. How about before we settle in to lighting our chalice together, let's take a moment to arrive here. So for me, that means I am planting my feet firmly on the floor, even in this rocking chair. I am taking a moment to let my shoulders rise up and drop down. Taking a moment to let my gaze soften, my eyes close, because that feels right for me. And then I invite us to join together from wherever we are across space and time and to connect with our breath. So I invite you, as you are able, to breathe intentionally with me. A breath in and a slow breath out. A breath in and a slow breath out. And again, at your own pace, breathing in and breathing out so slowly. Together we calm our nervous systems down and we arrive and are present in our bodies and in this time together. Now I'm going to go ahead and light my chalice here at home. If you have a candle you want to light, or if you just want to kindle that flame in your heart, please do so. And join with me if you like. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. So tonight, I wanted to make some space to share a story and to have some opportunity for us to communicate through the chat with each other or in our own heads and hearts. But let me start with the story part. So the congregation that I served before I came to Minneapolis was First Unitarian Church in Rochester, New York. Now, that church congregation was known for many things, but one of them that you may not know about is that it was located in a historically significant building. And actually, I should say an architecturally significant building. It was designed as a Unitarian congregation in the 60s, and it was designed by Louis Kahn, who went on to become a famous architect and kind of was a bit at the time too. And like many architecturally significant buildings, a lot of people from outside come in to visit it, and a lot of the folks who actually have to live in it maybe have a harder time. So there are things that are important about it, or that make it different, that also can make it hard to live with. So this congregation, the way the building was created entirely out of concrete. So it was a cement building through and through with tiny bits of like a light blonde wood accent in a few places. But this meant that the sanctuary where we would arrive to worship was in fact a total square. It was a box, and it was made of cinder blocks. There were a few spaces that were freshly poured concrete for that building, but it was gray and it was dull, you could say, and there were lots of issues with it. Now, like most things though, if you pay close attention and you get curious to the story behind something or someone, there's always something there to learn, and that is absolutely fascinating. This is true for all of us, I think. So for me, as I worked in that building year over year, I asked questions and I got curious about the story behind the building. I learned that the building had been created that way for many reasons, including that with the sanctuary on the inside, in that square space, they had built the religious education rooms around the sanctuary so that the kids would always be encircling the adults in the middle, and also so that the kids got the best real estate with all the windows and access to the outside. I learned that they made it this way with so much concrete and so little adornment because they were wanting to make room for the folks who arrived there to project their own image of the holy onto the blank walls, so that folks wouldn't be influenced by some outside source. They could bring their own longing and connection. But I'll tell you, my favorite thing that I learned after paying close attention to the details of the building was that when they were constructing the walls and when they were pouring the concrete, what they would do is take two giant pieces of wood, stand them up like this, and pour the concrete in. And the wood would stay in place until the concrete had set, and then they would take away the wood that had held it in place. Now, this is an amazing image to me, right? Of you have these two pieces of wood, you have the messy, unset concrete being poured in, and the supports stay in place until it's time for them to move away. And I'll tell you what I noticed is that if you got up close to those particular walls that had been poured that way, you could see the grain of the wood, the knots of the wood there in the concrete. It was amazing. They had left their imprint so that this surface and material that you could look at, I could look at and think, oh, this isn't very attractive. There's nothing natural feeling about that. And then you'd see the grain of the wood there ingrained in the concrete. Now, this is an image that has stuck with me over time for all kinds of reasons. And I want to explore a couple of those with us tonight. This image of the wood grain imprinted there on the cement. I think about this and I think about all of the places and the people, the ideas and the experiences that make their imprint on us, that are part of what shapes us, what forms us, what creates those patterns in us that go on long after the wood or the people or the places or the experiences that have set us in that way are gone. And I have been thinking a lot about what are those experiences and people and places that have left their mark on me. I think especially as we are in a time where, you know, the ups and downs of this pandemic life are tremendous for us. It feels to me as if we're in another phase where the virus is starting to rage through again, impact more and more people. And in those moments, I tend to isolate more, pull back from those social opportunities and connections that certainly help me. And so I am looking for the memories and the knowledge of the connections of what shapes me and what shapes me right now in these moments when there are fewer people around in my day-to-day physical life. So I wonder for you, what has shaped you? What has left that imprint on you, like those wood forms did on the concrete? And I'm going to invite us to spend a little bit of time letting those ideas percolate in us, to think about what has shaped you, what has left its mark for good or for bad, that is still there, even after the experience, the event, the person is not right there with us. So we're going to have a little bit of time listening to Franco do some improvisation, where I'm going to invite you to think about what has shaped you. And if you want to share any of that in the chat as we go, please do. Let's listen and let's let these thoughts roll through together. I feel like I could think about this for a long time. And so I invite you to keep letting these thoughts roll for you of what has shaped you, be it love, be it experiences. And I want to add one more way of thinking about this image that I've shared with you of those walls of that congregation. So other times in my life, I have thought about those walls and those wooden forms that held them as they set. And the way I've thought about it or interpreted it is what are the things in my life that help hold me together when I feel like mushy concrete, not set, totally a mess? What are the people, places, things that help hold me in place when that is what I need? What are the constraints, the supports, the care that helps me to do that? Now, one of the things that's been helping me lately, and yep, you can guess, I'm going to ask you what's helping you lately, what's holding you together. So, but first I'll share what it is for me. I have a couple of practices early in the morning before things get bustling at my house. With kids and a dog, things get loud here right away. And if I want any quiet, I have to get up really early. So I have a practice of getting up before the sun, and I sit in the same place. I get my cup of coffee and I have a spot on the couch, and I keep the window at the front of the house. I keep the shade up all the time, even overnight, because when I sit down there first thing in the morning, I know that if I look just at the right angle, I can see in between the houses across the street, it feels like maybe it's about 10 feet, this space that I can look between and see the sun come up with nothing interrupting my view at all. So I have to line myself up just right. And then there is that beauty that comes every single day. Now I'm watching closely. Some days it's an amazing and obvious, like bright purples and oranges, and it's gorgeous. And other days it's a much slower, quieter rising of the sun there. Maybe the sky is gray and it's too thick really to see anything bright coming through, but you can see the way the light slowly, slowly rises in the sky and illuminates things. So for me, one of those things, one of those practices that holds me up and holds me in place is seeing the sun come up in the morning. It's a reminder for me that whatever else is going on around me or inside of me or with the people that I love and care about, the world is turning, the sun is rising, night will come again, and I can trust in these rhythms. These rhythms help hold me up and help me to trust that I'm part of something bigger than just myself. So I wonder, what is holding you up? What do you turn to or put in place when you feel like that messy concrete? What holds you up? I think it's a good time to remember those practices, to welcome them in, maybe to add new ones to our routines. I love that y'all have been sharing about the people and places that have shaped you. And yes, remembering that everything we do takes time. What are the things that hold you up? And let's take these two questions with us into a time of quiet and a time of prayer together. So this is when I'll invite you again to arrive in your body in whatever way feels right. Maybe to feel the places your body is connected to wherever you're sitting or standing or laying down. To feel the solid connection with the earth beneath you. To know your breath connected with all those here and everyone all over. To know ourselves part of a line that stretches back past to present to future. And I invite us to take a few moments together in quiet to focus on your breath if that feels right. To welcome in the imaginings of what has shaped you and what holds you up or holds you as you lay down. Spirit of life and love, we are grateful for the breath that animates us. for the memories that restore us, for nature and its cycles, which show us again and again the ways of renewal, of change, of loss, of rebirth. We are grateful for this community, for time and space in the middle of our weeks to connect beyond ourselves to each other and to this love that holds us all. With our breath, with our connection, we know ourselves alone and yet not alone. We know ourselves a part of something larger. And together we hold all that must be held, the sorrows and the losses, the disappointments and the grief, the sometimes hard ways that the world and life impacts us. And we know here too, the love, the joy, the gratitude, the hope restored, the sense of possibility and surprise that can emerge. And as we are together tonight, if there is something that you are holding in your heart that you want to name out loud where you are, or speak quietly in your own mind and heart, or say out loud in our chat, what is it that is on your mind and in your heart tonight that we might hold with you in love? I name my father, my brother, my niece and nephew. I name gratitude for the space between the houses where I see the sun come up, for the river and the birds. For all that we carry, for all that is changing, for all that holds us up, that steadies us, that cares for us when we do not stand, when we rest, when we change, for each other and all. We are grateful. Amen. And I invite us now to be washed over with some music from Melanie DeMore, who recorded this piece specifically for all of us, our UU congregations. When the pandemic began, let us receive this as a gift to all of us.
Hello, UU family. I'm going to sing a song with you called Shine on Me. It's an amazing spiritual that anybody can sing. And in these days when the things that we're dealing with, the feeling separate and all of that, and things seem so hard, this is one of those songs that you just throw your head back, put it in your medicine kit. All you have to do is ask. And here's how it goes. Shine on me, Oh, shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me. Oh, shine on me. Yes, shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me. Lift me up, oh, lift me up. Let the light from the lighthouse lift me up, oh, lift me up. Yes, lift me up. Let the light from the lighthouse lift me up. Oh, hold me close. Yes, hold me close. Let the light from the lighthouse hold me close. Yes, hold me close. Oh, hold me close. Let the light from the lighthouse, please, hold me close. Oh, shine on me, shine on me. Yes, shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me. Oh, shine on me. Yes, shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me. All you have to do is just ask. The light is always there. Always. Always. Love you.
I hope that you are feeling some of the light, some of the love from this community reaching out to you. And I invite you, if it feels right, I'm putting my hands on my heart and sending love to myself and to each and every one of you tonight. May the light of the lighthouse shine on us. May we be held up, cared for, surrounded when that is what we need. May we be there for others when that is what they need. May we trust that the imprint of love is strong in us. And may we share that love with the world. May it be so. Amen. And I invite you to carry the light of your chalice with you out into the world, into all of the corners of your life. And I hope to see you on Sunday. Take care. Good night.